Prime Minister Netanyahu at the United Nations. This is just 2 months ago. I want you to listen carefully. The clip is a little over a minute. I want you to listen most carefully to the last sentence that comes out of his mouth. It's very, very telling.
Now, you know, ladies and gentlemen, you know there's a fly in this ointment, because rest assured, the fanatics ruling Iran will do everything they can to thwart this historic peace. Iran continues to threaten international shipping lanes, hold foreign nationals for ransom, and engage in nuclear blackmail. Over the past year, its murderous goons have killed hundreds and arrested thousands of Iran's brave citizens. Iran's drones and missile program threaten Israel and our Arab neighbors, and Iran's drones have brought and bring death and destruction to innocent people in the Ukraine. Yet the regime's aggression is largely met by indifference in the international community. 8 years ago, the Western powers promised that if Iran violated the nuclear deal, the sanctions would be snapped back. Well, Iran is violating the deal, but the sanctions have not been snapped back. To stop Iran's nuclear ambitions, this policy must change. Sanctions must be snapped back. And above all, Iran must face a credible nuclear threat.
Above all, Iran must face a credible nuclear threat. From whom? He's obviously talking about from the Israelis. Did the Prime Minister of Israel, for the first time in history, admit that the Israelis have nuclear weapons aimed at Tehran and are prepared to use it? Credible nuclear threat.
Well, he didn't admit it, but you certainly have to draw that conclusion. That minister that talked about the possibility of a nuking Gaza, he got into trouble not so much for wanting to nuke Gaza, but he was tacitly admitting that Israel has nukes, and Israel up to now has never officially admitted that it has nukes. It was never a signatory to the Non-Proliferation Treaty. So Israel's playing sort of a dangerous game here. They are doing projection. The reality is that Israel has beaten and imprisoned more Palestinians than Iranians have Iranians that are in opposition to them. And as far as killing Palestinians, Israel has a far higher body count than anything that Iran has done.
Hasn't Israel assassinated Iranian scientists, Ray?
Sure, nuclear scientists especially.
Yes.
And they've bragged about it, there's one aspect that needs to be brought out in this discussion, and that is, it is, according to U.S. law, illegal to give weapons to Israel, to sell them, to give them in any manner. Why? Because they violated the Non-Proliferation Treaty understandings that if they develop a nuclear weapon, U.S. law prohibits the U.S. from giving arms aid to Israel. Now, they never joined the NPT, as Larry mentioned, but they violated what those provisions include, and they violated U.S. law. So the reason that the U.S. is reluctant to officially acknowledge, when everybody knows that Israel has nuclear weapon, is because that makes it illegal. Now, under the new rules-based international order, where we make the rules, well, those laws don't apply, I suppose. Right. Well, they do. They maintain this fiction of legality by denying the existence of nuclear weapons in Israel.
Larry, how
can I just comment on that? Because we gave Pakistan a waiver too. Ray's correct. It's on the books as a law, but it's the kind of thing that Congress can say, oh, okay, never mind, we're not going to enforce that. And they do give a waiver. So Israel would get a waiver in a heartbeat. I mean, if we give it to Pakistan,
right.
Israel gives a lot more money than Pakistan.
2 points about the clip we just watched of Prime Minister Netanyahu at the UN. One is that was just 2 weeks before October 7th. And
Right.
the bitter irony of him calling somebody else religious fanatics and murderous goons, language that would apply to his own cabinet today.
Right.